Hello friends, Marc David here, founder of the Institute for the Psychology of Eating. Thanks for being here. Thank you for your time. Thanks for your attention. We have a great conversation today. I have a topic that is super near and dear to my heart. Today we are going to talk about a new approach to weight. And wow, is that a big promise, a new approach to weight? You know, there's a lot of conversation about weight because it's one of the biggest conversations going in the field of health, in the field of nutrition, in the field of personal development and personal betterment. Weight, is often at the top of the list. And we haven't quite gotten, as a world, where we need to be with this topic. So what I want to do is I want to put some smarts here. I want to take a fresh look at the topic of weight so we can see where we might be falling short and where there might be a nice big opening for us to understand more about why is this so hard? Why can't we lose weight and get where we want to go? Why are all the false promises still out there? Eat this, don't eat that, take this pill, do this, and you're going to lose weight. So we're going to jump into that. And my intention is to leave you with some great distinctions around this topic because, wow, this is needed. So we're going to hit a little hard here, which is necessary. Now, in the meantime, before we get going, I'm waiting for people to come onto the Facebook Live right now. So while I'm doing that, if you wouldn't mind, in the comment section below, say hi and let me know where you're from. And this way, I can say hi back and tell you where I'm from. And you can also send some hearts and likes as you're already doing across the screen. That makes me feel good about myself, like I'm saying something that is useful to you. Diane, thank you so much. From Victoria, Australia. Love the work. You're in the training. Oh, good for you. And I'm so glad you're in the training. You know, this is all about, let me say a few words about that. So we are here at the Institute for the Psychology of Eating. Hello, Mike from Texas. We are currently enrolling for our next session of the Eating Psychology and Mind-Body Nutrition Certification Training that begins at the beginning of this coming year. So we already have a bunch of people from around the world. It's a great student body. So if you would like to learn more about the program, email us at info@psychologyofeating.com. That's a good way to get started. We'll plug you in, tell you what you need to know, set you up with one of our graduates to have a conversation if you need to do that. Hello, Rachel. Glad you're here. Looks like from Arizona. I would love to know how to say your name. Evelyn from Poland, glad you're here. And Kim from New York, thanks for coming by again. So again, if you're just popping on, waiting a few more moments. Hello, Carol from Australia, in the training and loving it. Thank you so much. So while we're waiting for people to come on, again, say hi in the comment section below. Let me know where you're from. And indeed, if you're in the training or you are already graduated as an eating psychology coach, feel free to identify yourself because oftentimes there's people in here who need you. So today's topic is a new approach to weight. And, this is a timely topic. And more to the point, it's time that we get more real around the topic. I think that's a big challenge when we have conversations about weight, is what happens is the conversation stays within the same narrow bandwidth. It drives me bonkers, I gotta tell you. Why? Because I've been watching this. I'm an observer, in large part. I observe. And I watch and I watch and I watch and I observe and I observe facts, I observe details, I observe stories. So because I have been fanatically obsessed with nutrition from a very young age, and secondarily eating psychology, once I learned there was such thing as psychology, I started watching what we do with weight. I started watching my own relatives, back in the 1960s, always trying to lose weight, talking about being on Weight Watchers, talking about being on a diet, and watching people counting calories and counting points and doing all this. And here we are in the world today, and our weight challenges are on the increase, not on the decrease. Isn't that interesting? So since really the weight loss culture started in the 1960s. We've gone downhill, not just as a nation, the United States of America, but as a world. As a world, weight is on the increase. Now, here's the issue. Even talking about this topic, what happens is when we're talking about weight, we all hear something different. When I say weight, I haven't even said weight loss in this conversation yet. When I talk about weight, I talk about weight because most people, they hear weight, they hear loss, as if loss ought to happen. Now, how many times have I met somebody who's trying to lose 5 pounds dramatically for so many years, and that's all they think about, and they're exercising and they're dieting to lose 5 pounds? Like, says who? Who said you have 5 pounds to lose? That might be a goal of yours. That's one thing. But that's different from I have to lose 5 pounds. I have to lose 10 pounds. I have to lose 20 pounds. Where do these numbers come from? There's no science behind it. Fine if you want to change your body. That's great. That's interesting. But we have to look at what kind of energy are we putting into that why? Where's that energy coming from? What's driving us? Are we being driven by I'm not good enough, I'm not okay? Are we being driven by perfectionism? Because quite frankly, my friends, usually when somebody's trying to lose 5 pounds, it's perfectionism. It's true. Like you don't even know what 5 pounds from this exact spot, and we put so much emphasis on it. Anyway, but let's leave the 5-pounders alone for a minute. Check out this statistic. We should hear this more often. This should be the front page of every newspaper, every magazine, every day as far as I'm concerned. You know how they list all, you go on a website somewhere and they, list all the news stories for the day. I want to see the same news story every day. 98 to 99%, here it is, 98 to 99% of all humans who lose weight on a weight loss diet gain back that weight within a year, and then some, they gain it back. Which is why we know that weight is on the increase, because it is, and our strategies are failing. The core concept that is supposedly science, which is now anti-science, which is now old science, but we haven't caught up yet because science is driven by industry. It's driven by money. It's driven by private interest. And there is a private interest in having people in suffering and misery because then we spend and we buy things. We're better consumers. Thank you so much for the love, Sherry. I so appreciate it. So 99% of all humans who lose weight on a weight loss diet gain it back within a year and then some. The core scientific concept that we operate on in the weight loss universe is calories in, calories out. The human body, as the science goes, is a biological input-output machine. You input the fuel, food, you output energy, calorie burning, and that determines your weight. That's it. It's just that one simple formula. Well, my friends, if that one simple formula worked, don't you think it would have worked already? The formula is erroneous. It's wrong. It's off base. It's unscientific. It's lazy. It's lazy science. Why? Because there are so many factors that have nothing to do with calories in, calories out. We know this. Science knows it. But you know something? We get attached to concepts. We get attached to here's how it works. And we hold on for dear life. So here's what I want to say to you. Weight, here's a new approach. Here's a new approach. Let's start like this. Weight is not your enemy. If somebody truly is carrying around extra weight, see, that's an interesting one. That's a whole other topic. And by the way, I just want to tell you, these distinctions that I'm talking about right now with you, this is what we dive into deeply in our eating psychology and mind-body nutrition certification training. We go down and dirty with this. How do you work with clients? Thanks for the love, Laura. So glad you're here from Australia. In Monterrey, I'm guessing that is Mexico. Gracie, I'm going to call you Gracie because I don't know how to say your name, but thank you for coming by. So here's the thing. Weight is not the enemy. Extra weight is not the enemy. People attack their extra weight like it's a bad alien. We diet it. We exercise it. We talk such bad words to ourselves about our body and about our weight. If your friends said the same things to you about your weight and your body and your looks that you say in your head, they would not be your friends. They would be very mean people. We have to watch out for that. You know, Kim said the very word diet has been so misused as a temporary fix instead of using it as a complete picture, real whole foods to nourish your body was so true. So extra weight is not the enemy. What is it? It's here to teach us. Extra weight, if one truly has extra weight, is a symptom. It's not a disease. It's not the problem. It's a symptom. Now, by the way, just let me backtrack for a second. Number of years ago, actually about 30 years ago, I can't believe this study came out 30 years ago. And you'll occasionally, if you dig deep enough into the research, you'll hear this, that when scientists do a meta-analysis on every study that they can get their hands on about weight, there is no universal agreement in science, there's no universal agreement about whether extra weight is a genetic issue, a dietary issue, a psychosocial issue, whether the extra weight itself is a disease or is a symptom, or believe it or not, the extra weight could be indicative of a positive health parameter, because for many people, extra weight actually keeps them younger, older, and living longer. So we can't determine what weight actually is. If it's a disease, a symptom, if it's a positive risk factor, a negative risk factor in disease, if it's genetic, if it's psychosocial. Why can't we figure that out? Because it's all of it. Or it's none of it. Or it's some of it. Or it depends. So what I want to say from the outset here is, my friends, weight is a complex issue. And complexity deserves our respect. My computer, it's a complex machine. If it's broken, I don't slam it thinking I'm going to fix it. No, I respect the complexity of the machine. You know, many moons ago, I might have kicked my car if it wasn't working. That doesn't work, really. But yeah, sometimes you give a machine a kick and it works, but the machine has to be a little simple, you know? Hello, Miss Gina Taker DeBun. I'm so glad you're here. And hello, Danny Spees. Also glad you're here. So weight is a complex issue, and complexity deserves our respect, and it deserves that we dive in and tease things out and look at it so we can determine when somebody is truly carrying extra weight. We could actually figure out, is somebody carrying extra weight? And if so, what might be truly contributing to that? Because as we've seen through proof, through 50 years of calories in, calories out, count your points, count your calories, that doesn't work. Okay, just eat less, exercise more, you'll lose weight. How many of you have done that? You've eaten less, you've exercised more, and you lost weight, but it came back on. So that's not a sustainable strategy. Anyone can lose weight, my friends. Easy. Easy, 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 easy. It's doing it in a sustainable way, so you have shifted, your body has shifted, your life has shifted, and you are now in a new/natural place. Susan, thank you for being here. Thanks for the love. Gina, I'm always glad when you come by. I hope you're doing well. So let me just give you a list of other possibilities, possible lessons, because the weight is teaching us something. We want to listen to it. What might weight be teaching us? You know, somebody's excess weight could very simply be a poor quality diet. There are humans, you can take them off of their junk food diet. You give them high quality foods, they'll lose weight. There are some people who can't lose weight, who are weight loss resistant because they are low in essential fats. And all you have to do is give them more fat in their diet, healthy fat, and they lose weight, even though they're eating more calories. By the way, and we've known this for decades, one of the symptoms of essential fatty acid deficiency is weight gain or inability to lose it. That's wild, my friends. That's crazy. Okay, lack of protein in the diet can also cause weight loss resistance. Imbalanced macronutrients in general, too much sugar, too much carbohydrates. We know that impacts metabolism, and you don't even have to understand the science. You just watch what happens when you take a group of people, and we've done these studies already, and you put them on a higher fat, higher protein, lower carb diet. It's a great way for weight loss. Does it work for everyone? No, because that's not the keys to the kingdom for everyone, because there's so many factors. Other factors, let me just list them out. Excess high fructose corn syrup, chronic dieting and food restriction. If you restrict the body, if you diet, you'll actually slow down metabolism. It's a brilliant function of the brain, of the nervous system. Your body thinks it's on a desert island starving. You know, if you have a thyroid issue, if you have adrenal issues, if you have pituitary issues, that can cause weight gain. If you have heavy metal toxicity in the body, mercury, lead, that can lead to weight gain or inability to lose it. Inflammation. Now, inflammation in the body can happen from many different causes. It could be due to stress. It could be due to pollution. It could be due to trauma. It could be due to different chemicals. So inflammation, that underlying condition from various factors, can cause weight gain or inability to lose it. Insulin resistance, i.e. diabetes, but the continuum of insulin resistance alone can cause weight gain. Excess cortisol in the system, that's a stress hormone. Poor digestion, imbalanced gut bacteria. We have so much research coming out that when your gut microbiome, when we kill off the good bacteria in our gut, how do you do that? You do that through stress, poor diet, pollution. You do that through use of antibiotics, to name a few. That can cause weight gain or inability to lose it. It's mind-blowing. All kinds of nutrient deficiencies, including deficiencies that you had when you were in mama's womb. Imbalanced meal timing. If you're eating the bulk of your food in the evening time, less food in the first 2/3 of your day, that is a recipe for weight gain, because we metabolize food differently at different times during the day. Yes, Summer Lane, emotional stress. I'm going to get to stressors in a second. Maz, I love that you're here. Thanks. I'm glad you're benefiting from this. Amy's saying, I've taken Transform Relationship with Food and other programs. It'll change anyone's life. I absolutely love it. Amy, thank you so much for saying that. That is so sweet. Kamala says, I'm actually very proud I did your course, Mark. It's a privilege. There's a wisdom in everything you said. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So lack of sleep. Just that one thing alone. If you gave me $10,000 and said, make me gain weight, one of the first things I might do is like inhibit your sleep, because that will change your hormonal picture. That'll change your appetite. And it's a fairly good predictor of weight gain for a lot of people. Lack of awareness while eating, eating too fast, lack of pleasure. Now, there's a science behind everything I'm saying. We could talk for 2 hours at least on lack of pleasure and how that metabolically impacts the body. We're designed to seek pleasure and avoid pain. When you don't get the pleasure you seek, pleasure, by the way, catalyzes relaxation response, like a shoulder rub, like a deep breath, relax. Well, relaxation response is where we do our optimum day in, day out calorie burning. Yes, you burn calories when you intensely exercise, but you burn the bulk of your calorie not in that 1 hour of intense exercise, but the other 23 hours during the day. That's when you're burning. On top of that, if your 1 hour of exercise is over exercise, how many of you have ever done this? You exercise like mad and you didn't lose weight, and you cut your calories in half and you didn't lose weight. Over exercise for the body is a stressor. When the body goes into a stress response, it is very easy then for the body to either become weight loss resistant or to actually gain weight. Eating too fast, I just mentioned that, is another one. So use of certain prescription drugs, woohoo, that's a big one, my friends, especially antidepressants. If your doctor told you before you got an antidepressant that it's going to make you gain weight and take away your sex drive, would you do it? Maybe not, because that's even more depressing when you gain weight and lose your sex drive. Rachel, thanks so much. So let's look at some of the other lessons that extra weight might be teaching us, and already somebody was intimating about this. Who was that? Summer Lane was asking about emotional stress. So yes, stress by itself creates a whole different biochemical milieu. We are so powerful, my friends. We're so powerful. Your mind can change your chemistry in a moment. Yeah? You have a rough day, you're not doing good, you're a little depressed, you're low energy. And if I asked how you're doing, you go, oh, I'm miserable right now. I'm so fatigued and tired. And you're lying on the couch and the phone rings. And it's a love interest. Or if somebody telling you you're getting a whole bunch of money, and in that instant your energy completely changed and you're talking and you're happy and you're smiling and you're engaged and you're ready to get up and conquer the world, what happened? You heard a voice on the other end of the phone, and your mood, your chemistry changed within an instant, because we phone in a prescription to our inner pharmacy by what we are thinking and feeling and believing. Big one, my friends. Now, by the way, all these factors that I'm mentioning, somebody's extra weight, if they truly have extra weight, somebody's extra weight could be a swirl of all these factors. It could be just one factor, two factor, five factors. Viva la différence. We're all different. We are all beautifully unique. Magdalena says, great energy, Mark. Thank you so much, Magdalena. You're so sweet. Maz says, Mark, in your opinion, can you reverse diabetes too when doctors say it's hereditary? Absolutely. It's done all the time. There's so many great resources online. Maz, why don't you just email us at info@psychologyofeating.com. Ask us for some resources about that. So, and there might be people in this thread who are eating psychology coaches who specialize in that or have knowledge of that. If you do and you're a coach, identify yourself, please. Amy says, yes, it is so, so true. So stressors. Stress creates a whole different chemistry in the body, which on average, when you have enough stress, you're producing more insulin, more cortisol. Both of those hormones secreted in excess day in and day out can signal the body to store weight, store fat very specifically, and not build muscle, which is the opposite of what anybody trying to lose weight wants to do. Stress could be relationship stress. My challenges in my partnership. Stress could be stress at work. It could be money stress. It could be family concerns, job worries. Stress could just be negative thinking. I hate my body. I hate myself. I hate my life. I hate the world. This is no good. That creates stress in your system. So even though you're not saying anything, you're just sitting there thinking, I hate my body, I hate myself, and you're looking in the mirror. When you attack self, you are creating stress chemistry in the body. It is a stressful event for a human to self-harm. Self-harm can be done cutting yourself with a knife. But self-harm is also how we talk to ourselves. Because you know, think when you were a kid and some adult says something mean and nasty to you, how it lands in us. We're very sensitive, especially to what we say to self. So all the stressors in life, whatever they are, my parents are sick, my dog is dying, these can conceivably be causative or additive. They can be triggers of weight gain or inability to lose it. And then you couple life stress with poor diet, with bad sleeping habits, and taking certain drugs, antibiotics, antidepressants. It's a recipe for weight gain. It's a recipe for inability to lose weight. You know, there's also deeper lessons that weight can often be here to teach us. Deeper personal, emotional lessons. A lot of times if we have locked in emotions, that can cause weight gain or inability to lose weight. This is observational, okay? We don't have, the collective scientific we don't have a well-articulated science of this. Now, I can postulate the science of it. We could talk about that. But do me a favor, do not get stuck in, well, I need evidence-based scientific lots of research to prove everything that you say. Well, if we needed scientific evidence-based research to prove everything that we said, then science would never advance, for goodness sakes. You gotta start somewhere, my friends. You gotta look at what's not working, look at the big picture. All of science begins with observation. intelligent observation, smart observation, and the kind of observation where you say, let me just gather data and facts. That's a good scientist. When you can dispassionately, meaning you remove your bias, you remove your emotions, and you collect data and you watch. So over the years, as I watch clients, as I talk to other practitioners who watch their clients, what you start to see is people who have locked in anger, locked in grief, who are carrying around intense judgment, who are carrying around intense guilt. That can often lead to weight gain or inability to lose it. Depression is another one. Apathy. Life is kind of sucking, and if I'm apathetic, I'm not going to want to take care of myself. I'm not going to want to move. I'm not going to want to eat well. So the issue is not, well, you need to eat better. You need to exercise, apathetic person. No, why am I apathetic? And how do I regenerate myself and grow out of that apathy into more personal power? So all of a sudden, weight loss becomes less about weight loss, because when you identify, oh my goodness, my client is sitting around and he or she hating her parents, hating her life, hating everything that happened, hating the present, that's going to be hard to lose weight from that place. When we are carrying around intense emotion that doesn't get to move, that doesn't get to express, we need a healthy emotional metabolism. What will happen is the body holds on. The body holds on to weight. It's a phenomenon. Post-traumatic stress. We know this. The research is very clear. Many people who have post-traumatic stress could be because you were in war. You witnessed atrocities. Post-traumatic stress could be a past history of sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. Too many people died when you were really young. Anything that impacted us traumatically that we can't resolve in ourselves lives in the body as an unprocessed stress, and post-traumatic stress very often has as a symptom weight gain, inability to lose weight, digestive issues. So, right then and there, and there's more. If somebody is living in disappointment, or if they're living in protection, I got to protect myself against women. I got to protect myself against men. That's a bracing posture against the world. Half the world is women, half the world is men. If you're hating half the world, you're in reaction to half the world. You're creating a low-level stress response, which means you're shifting your body chemistry day in and day out, and you're signaling it to, probability-wise, store weight, store fat, and not build muscle because of the stress chemistry and how insulin, cortisol, and other stress hormones work, how they create inflammation, how they impact the gut bacteria, how they impact us hormonally. So what I'm saying, my friends, is there's a lot going on here when it comes to weight. Sexuality plays in big here. Matt says, yes, grief and anger, that's buried. That's a big one. Healthy emotional metabolism, oh, so important. Kama saying, Mark, please say something about why food and eating issues shouldn't be seen as an addiction. Some people still say all we have to do is control your brain and instincts. Very simple. Most people, you will hardly ever meet people who the reason why they have extra weight is because they're a willpower weakling and can't control their appetite. It's a bunch of nonsense. It is bad science. It's bad psychology. It's blaming humans in a place where they ought not be blamed. What do I mean? If you're eating fast, very simple. If you're a fast eater, 80% of people that I have polled identify themselves as a fast or very fast eater. The act of eating fast deregulates your appetite. It'll cause you to eat more. That's not a willpower issue. That's an issue of you don't know how to eat. You got to educate yourself in how to work your biology, how to work your body. It's no different than learning tennis. You learn how to do tennis, how to hit the ball. You learn what is the optimum way to eat. Optimum way to eat is in a relaxation response. If you eat fast, deregulate your appetite. There's no addiction issue there. There's no willpower issue. But that's a whole other topic. I can't go into that now because we got a big topic that we're talking about. The list, my friends, goes on and on and on about all the minor and not so minor factors that impact our ability to lose weight. Amy Hanson Williams says, used to weigh 260 pounds. I'm now 150. I've kept it off 4 years. Everything Mark is saying is true and real. I'm living it, loving my life today. Congratulations, Miss Amy. And it's not, see, when I say congratulations, I just want you all to know, I'm not congratulating you, Amy, for losing that weight. Who cares? I get that's an issue. What I'm congratulating you on is that you had to change as a person. There's ways that you had to grow. There's ways that you had to dig deeper. There's ways that you had to elevate yourself. There's ways that you had to develop yourself, maybe take care of yourself better, maybe face some demons. That's hard work. Losing a bunch of pounds, but doing the hard work for us to improve as human beings, to really look in the mirror. How am I talking to myself? How am I treating myself? How am I operating in the world? Am I giving my gifts? Am I showing up? How do I have to improve myself? That's the hard work, not attacking a bunch of body fat. Body fat is a part of us. You don't need to attack the weight because it's trying to talk to you. So the way we train our practitioners is extra weight is speaking to us. We have to listen. What is this person's extra weight telling us, telling me, telling them? What's the message? Is the message, hey, you need to eat more healthy food? That could be it. Is the message, hey, you need to move your body more? That could be it. Hey, maybe you should stop over-exercising and pushing yourself all so hard and do movement that's actually more enjoyable because that helps people lose weight. That could be it. Maybe that person has a past history of sexual abuse and hasn't really embraced that and looked at it and dealt with it enough, but now they're ready. That could be the key that helps unlock the weight loss story. Maybe it's day-to-day stressors. Maybe it's their eating rhythm, when they eat, what they eat. Macronutrient balance, so much. Things that we mentioned, which you can go back and listen to what we talked about. So again, what I want to say, my friends, is that all the factors that I'm mentioning, and again, there are many, many more, somebody's extra weight or inability to lose it could be a swirl of any of these factors. It could be one factor. So our job, when I say our job, I'm talking about practitioners who work in this realm. If you're only working with one tool, calories in, calories out, you ain't getting success. I can tell you that right now. You're very frustrated as a practitioner and you don't get where you want to go. And when you do, you're happy, but it's a temporary high because then your same client comes back months later and they've gained weight. Honestly, people who work in the weight loss universe, it's one of the most frustrating jobs ever because it's hard to have success because we keep using the same unsuccessful tools. That's the issue. One of my favorite questions over the years, I would ask fellow practitioners, and I know some great practitioners. I know a lot of the big shots, and I would ask them in private, okay, let's get real. Let's get really real. What would you say is your success rate with weight loss client? And I mean it. After a year, what is your success rate? You will seldom hear more than 50%. Seldom. In fact, I've never heard it. Okay? And the honest ones, when they're honest, it's way lower than 50%. So all I'm saying, my friends, is we've got a lot of room for improvement. That's the good news. And we are positioned for success once we have an open mind and we understand that the tools that we've been using to try to fix the issue don't work. So then we can ask the larger question, what does work? And what works is when we embrace the complexity of weight and understand that it is a mind, body, heart, and soul phenomenon. Okay, body, metabolism, diseases, nutrition, drugs that we might be taking, outside substances affecting us. So that's a very physiologic phenomenon. But it could be very much emotionally related. It could be stress related. It could be lifestyle related. Again, it could be how we sleep. And when I say mind, body, spirit, meaning sometimes there are lessons in life that are just bigger than the others. Things that we need to learn. Oftentimes, in order to have a permanent shift with the body, any kind of permanent shift, getting rid of a disease, getting rid of an unwanted condition, an unwanted habit, or unwanted extra weight. In order to have that shift in the body, oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes, we have to have an equal shift in self. So we have a saying here at the Institute for the Psychology of Eating: personal power equals metabolic power. Personal power equals metabolic power, meaning this: personal power. As I become the person that I am meant to be, as I express myself, because each of us has a potential, as I step into my potential and discover my gifts and start giving my gifts to the world, and I start showing up as a better human in my thoughts, in my words, in my deeds. As we fulfill our soul's potential, our character's potential, then our body, our metabolism, has the best chance to fulfill its greatest potential. Mind and body track one another. You know this. Mind and body track one another. The yogis have been saying this forever. Traditional cultures around the globe have been saying this in their own ways forever. We, Western science, started saying this 1980s, mind-body science. We finally figured out that your mind affects your body. Duh. I knew that when I was 7 years old. You don't have to tell me that. For goodness sakes, of course the mind and emotions are affecting the body. That's the good news. Because we have to get more subtle, my friends. We have to do the inner work. Now, not everybody who needs to lose weight needs to do inner work, but many of us do. And the inner work, just changing our diet to a healthier diet often requires inner work. Letting go of exercise that is extreme and doesn't work for you, and you're doing it because you hate it, because you think it's going to make you lose weight, and it doesn't, and you're constantly miserable, letting go of that actually takes work for a lot of people. I have taken clients off of running marathons who couldn't lose weight running marathons. And you take them out of running and they start to lose weight. Why? They were over-exercising and over-stressing their bodies. So all I'm saying is we have to think creatively. We have to be flexible here. And we have to also, there's so much judgment that we do around weight. Oh, you're fat. There must be something wrong with you. Oh, you got extra weight. There must be something wrong with you. Like we act as if people who don't have extra weight are somehow better than or morally superior. So just because you're not carrying extra weight doesn't mean you don't have all the issues we've been talking about. Okay, somebody might have past history of sexual abuse, all kinds of nonsense that they have to deal with, and it just doesn't show up as extra weight. So it's not that, slender people, thin people are doing it all right. It's just that when we get to the topic of weight loss, we have to address it in a whole different way. So, I can go on forever. This is such an important topic, and it's important that each one of us starts pushing the envelope here to notice where we go into judgment around weight, because when the mind goes into judgment, it cannot see clearly. When the scientific mind goes into judgment, it just goes down the toilet. It cannot see clearly, because we're here to gather information. So when you're working with a client, you're gathering information. You're gathering details. It's a beautiful thing. One of the beauties of coaching for me is that I love people's stories. I love stories. But I love learning about people's stories, and here's why. One of the reasons is because I have determined you can give me a person who others might say, this is a boring person, not that interesting, not that many friends. You give me that person for 1 hour and I will get so into them. I will get into how fascinating their story is. Because I have never met a single person who in some way, shape, or form did not have a fascinating story. Their journey, their upbringing, their life, their challenges, their successes, their hurts, their wounds, all of it. We got to learn how to fall in love with people's stories. Oh, that's what helped you become who you are today. Oh, that's why you get so nervous and anxious and upset all the time. Oh, That's why you think the way you do what you do in the world, you act how you do. So as we can fall in love with our client's story, we actually have the ability to gather more information, to see people clearly, to assess them better, and then when it comes to the topic of weight loss, to really see more clearly what that person needs. So in our training, we go through all the distinctions: nutritional, emotional, lifestyle, metabolic, chemical, drug related, past history related. We go through all the factors that can show up. And then when you're working with a client, you're going through the checklist in your mind, and then you learn where to start first with someone. Because weight loss is a journey. And I say journey with a capital J. It requires that we put on a backpack and prepare to enter some new territory. Because when you want to shift, when your client wants a big shift, you got to wager more at the table. If you want to go to Las Vegas and you want to win big, you got to wager big. Yeah, you can put $1 down on 1,000,000 to 1 bet, but the odds are so astronomical, probably not going to win. But in general, I think this is kind of a life lesson. If you want a big result, if we want a big favor from the universe, you want the grace, you want the goodies, you got to show up being willing to risk. And oftentimes what we need to risk is our perspective, is our belief system, is how we see the world. Because oftentimes when that shifts, that's when the body can start to shift. And that's when we can start to do practices when it comes to health, when it comes to weight, when it comes to a healthy relationship with food. We can start to do practices that truly work. So, no weight hate, no more fat hate, because the truth is we have the research. Google's a great thing. Google obesity paradox. What you will learn when you Google obesity paradox is there's many scientists who are noticing the fact that we're supposed to believe that just because you're overweight means you're unhealthy, but it turns out that being overweight actually helps you live longer. And for many people, not only help them live longer, you are living healthier and living longer, which is a big difference. So the old adage of extra weight equals unhealth isn't true. There are certain people who, whatever their weight is, might grant them unhealth. Extremely skinny, yep, that can mess with your health. Extreme obesity, that can impact your health. Once you get in the bell curve and that 80%, it's anybody's guess. Depends on the person, depends on them, their lifestyle, their diet, their practices. It depends on all of it. You just can't look at somebody's weight and make an assessment about who they are. Doesn't work. So the good news is there are tools out there. There's approaches, there are skills, there are protocols. That's one thing I've been excited about for a long time, because the way my brain works is I like to originate. I like to see a problem that seemingly doesn't get solved so easily, and I like to actually look for solutions that sound like they work or that do work. So I've been hammering at the door of weight for, virtually a lifetime, looking at what works, what doesn't. So a lot of what I've been sharing with you today is a reflection of that, and certainly what we teach in the training around weight and its loss and body image and all the related eating challenges. Thank you so much, Mike. I really appreciate it. So what we teach is all about getting in there with your weight loss client in a good way, in a smart way, in a skillful way, in a humane way. So you're working in partnership with them. There's no blame, there's no judgment. And you start to see the best places to work once you have a good toolkit. So my friends, I hope this was helpful for you. And if you know somebody who might be interested in the topic that we covered today, feel free to share this with them. And if you like our fan page, the Institute for the Psychology of Eating fan page, you will be alerted every time I come on to do a Facebook Live. Gina, thank you so much. She says the training is a game changer. That's how I did my best to design it, quite frankly. Rachel, thanks for the love. I really appreciate it. So if you would like to learn more about what we're up to here, email us at info@psychologyofeating.com. We are happy to share with you what we know, tell you about the training program. Again, the Next Eating Psychology and Mind Body Nutrition Coach Certification Training starts within a few months. Now's the time to apply. The training is by application. And we'd love for you to learn more. And I would love for you to just stay part of our world, even if you don't jump into the training. Share this with people you know might be interested. I appreciate us being in a good conversation that matters. Thank you, Miss Courtney. Thanks, Tara. Yeah, to me it's important. I cannot get through my day without having a conversation that matters, even if it's just between me in my own head, because there's a lot of noise in the world. There's a lot of noise on social media. So this is us getting together and talking about things that can make a difference. So thank you all so much. Thank you, Kamala. Thank you, Selma. And have a great day. Lots more to come as always, my friends. You take care.